I've watched some of the most viral videos on the psychology of money, and here's what I learned. If you watch this till the end, you won't need to watch any other videos on this topic because I am going to share the most important and powerful lessons with you, all in one place. Lessons that can not only change the way you think about money, but also the way you think about life. Money. Some people have it, some don't. Some master it, most are still chasing it. We often believe that money is all about math, numbers, spreadsheets, and equations that we simply need to solve. But here's the truth. Money is less about numbers and far more about psychology. Your financial success doesn't depend on how intelligent you are. It depends on how you behave. A person with average knowledge but good habits will usually outperform someone brilliant but reckless. That is why money is such a fascinating subject. Two people can look at the exact same investment opportunity and make opposite choices. One sees opportunity, the other sees danger. One acts with patience, the other panics. Neither person is crazy. Each is simply shaped by their personal money story, a story written by their upbringing, environment, and experiences. To really understand the psychology of money, let's start with two real-life stories that show how powerful behavior is. Ronald Reed was a janitor. He lived quietly, drove an old car, wore simple clothes, and nobody thought of him as wealthy. But when he passed away at age 92, people were stunned. He had left behind more than $8 million. How? By patiently investing in blue-chip stocks for decades and never showing off his wealth. On the other hand, Richard Fosconi, a Harvard-educated banker, lived in luxury with a mansion, sports cars, and every privilege. Yet during the 2008 financial crisis, he lost everything and declared bankruptcy. What's the difference between the janitor who built millions and the banker who lost it all? Intelligence? Number. It was behavior. That's the essence of the psychology of money. Now, let's break down the most important lessons. Lesson 1. Luck and risk. Success in money and in life is never just about hard work. Luck and risk play a much bigger role than most of us like to admit. Take Bill Gates, for example. Of course, he is brilliant, but in 1968, he happened to attend one of the only high schools in the world that had a computer. That single stroke of luck gave him a head start that millions of other equally smart kids never had. Meanwhile, his close friend Kent Evans, who was just as intelligent and ambitious, tragically died young in an accident. He never had the chance to realize his potential. This shows us something humbling. Success is never as good as it looks, and failure is never as bad. Outcomes are always influenced by forces we don't see. That's why it's dangerous to assume someone failed because they were lazy, or that someone succeeded purely because they were brilliant. Both luck and risk are invisible partners in every financial story. The key takeaway: instead of trying to eliminate risk or depending on luck, build systems that can survive uncertainty. Be humble. Don't get arrogant during success, and don't be too hard on yourself during failure. The most important thing is to stay in the game long enough for the odds to eventually swing in your favor. Lesson 2. Getting rich versus staying rich. Here's a question most people never ask. How do you stay rich? Everyone is obsessed with getting rich, but the truth is, staying rich is a completely different game. Getting rich usually requires bold risk, but staying rich requires caution, discipline, and respect for the downside. Think about Mike Tyson. He earned over $400 million during his boxing career, but later filed for bankruptcy with more than $20 million in debt. Or look at Sam Bankman-Fried, who built a $26 billion crypto empire, but lost it all almost overnight because he kept taking reckless risks. Now compare them with Warren Buffett. He didn't make his fortune through wild bets or flashy moves. He simply followed a simple strategy consistently for over 70 years. He respected compounding and avoided catastrophic mistakes. His philosophy is clear. The first rule of compounding is to never interrupt it unnecessarily. So remember this: getting rich may be about taking chances, but staying rich is about survival. The real winners are not those who shine the brightest in one moment, but those who can endure for decades without blowing up. Lesson 3. Wealth is what you don't see. Imagine someone driving a Ferrari pulls up next to you at a traffic light. What do you think? Probably, wow, that person must be rich. But here's the truth. All you really know is that they spent a lot of money on a car. Real wealth is invisible. It's the savings, the investments, the assets quietly growing behind the scenes. That's why Ronald Reed, the janitor, became wealthy without anyone noticing. He wasn't flashing luxury cars or designer clothes. He was quietly investing. Here's an eye-opening statistic. statistic, nearly 70% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, including many people earning six figures. Why? Because income is not wealth. High income often leads to high spending. Wealth is what you don't spend. It's the money you save and invest instead of showing it off. This is why someone earning $60,000 a year can retire early, while someone earning $200,000 can still be broke. It's not about how much you make. It's about how much you keep. And the irony is, those who look the richest often aren't, because truly wealthy people don't need to prove anything. They're not chasing admiration. They're buying freedom, peace, and time. Lesson 4, the trap of never enough. Here's one of the hardest questions in life. How much is enough? If you immediately thought of a number, here's the problem. What happens when you reach it? Will you stop, or will the goalpost move? For most people, it moves. That's the dangerous trap of never enough. Studies show that people at every income level believe they need 2 to 3 times more than they currently earn to feel rich. But when they reach that level, the goal shifts again. The cycle never ends. That's why many wealthy people still feel insecure about money. Morgan Housel tells the story of Rajat Gupta. He rose from poverty in India to become the head of McKinsey, sat on boards with billionaires, and had a net worth of more than $100 million. But it wasn't enough. He got involved in insider trading, lost his reputation, his career, and even his freedom, all because he didn't know when to stop. The lesson is clear. There is no reason to risk what you already have and need for something you don't have and don't really need. The hardest but most freeing financial skill is getting the goalpost to stop moving. Define your own version of enough and protect it. Lesson 5, the highest dividend of money is freedom. Let's finish with the most important lesson of all. The true purpose of money is not status, not luxury, not possessions. It is freedom. The ability to wake up and choose how you spend your day, who you spend it with, and what you want to work on. That is the highest dividend money pays. Even a modest emergency fund gives you options. It gives you the confidence to walk away from a toxic job, to take a break when you need one, or to pursue opportunities without fear. Money used well buys back your time, and time is the ultimate currency. Think about it. Would you rather have millions but no freedom, or enough to live comfortably with full control over your life? Most people deep down want the second option, because money is not about the numbers in your bank account. It's about the life those numbers allow you to live. So let's bring it all together. The psychology of money teaches us that success is not about intelligence or perfect calculations. It's about behavior. It's about humility in the face of luck and risk. It's about shifting from risk-taking to survival once you have enough. It's about remembering that wealth is what you don't show. It's about resisting the trap of never enough and protecting your peace. And most of all, it's about using money to buy freedom, not things. The next time you think about money, ask yourself, am I chasing more or am I building freedom? Because in the end, you don't win by out-earning everyone. You win by building a life that truly feels rich.